welcome to another episode of Other Items of Interest. I'm your host, Jack Zablocki. On today's episode, we fix the Falcon and achieve hyperspace, we rig the clock tower and go back to 1985, and we go deep into the Hollywood underbelly to get our bike back. All that and more on today's Other Items of Interest. This one comes from the AP. New Yorkers unamused by bread slice bagel. To give you an idea, you have yourself a complete uncut bagel. You put it down on the tray, the plate, the table, counter. You just lay it flat. You take your bread knife and at the very end of one side of the bagel, you make a slice. And you keep slicing just like a loaf of bread. That's how this person cuts their bagel. Now that that's clear, let's continue with the story. A Midwestern native is getting an earful from New Yorkers and social media since he tweeted a photo of vertically sliced Panera bagels on Monday and called it the St. Louis secret. Claiming his coworkers in Washington, D.C. were delighted, Alec Krautman pointed out the tiniest slices create more surface area for the schmear of cream cheese. And he said any leftover slices make nice bagel chips with hummus. Twitter erupted with hashtag Bagelgate. St. Louis forget about it, tweeted Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, a New York Democrat. New York City's Chief of Detectives Dermot Shea thanked posters for reporting this crime. Eliza Orland, a city public defender, tweeted, "I'm a lifelong New Yorker, and this hurts my soul." They take their bagels seriously, I'm telling you. I don't agree with it, but that's their culture. Other tweeters posted photos of smashed up cake, milk-drowned cookies, and other culinary abominations, calling them St. Louis style. The internet is so cruel and amusing all at the same time. Humans suck. We've gotten so far. We're so evil to each other. We're so mean. It's hilarious. I could see the advantage if you want to sample different spreads and different types of bagels like a party or something, Philip Romanzi, owner of Bagel Hole in Brooklyn, said on Thursday. But to walk down the street with a bagel that's cut up like that seems pretty ridiculous. Who do you think you are walking down the street with a bagel like that? What's the matter with you? What's wrong with your head? Is there something the matter with your head? I'm sure that's how the full quote went. He went on to say, there's only one right way to slice a bagel. Find the soft spot on the side and cut it lengthwise, just like a baby. He didn't say that part about just like a baby. I'm sorry. If someone asked him to slice his world-famous bagels like a loaf of bread, I almost said like a baby, like a loaf of bread, he'd tell them to go down the block. I don't know what's down the block. Article doesn't say, but I imagine somebody who's a little bit more accepting. But not everyone was critical. The National Weather Service in St. Louis tweeted a photo of a plate of bagels and tweeted, "It's been a busy week with flooding, hail, and tornadoes, but we always have time for bread-sliced bagels." Krautman didn't return messages so he can comment through Twitter. But he was getting support from the place he bought the bagels from, Panera. His next bagels are on them. Well, at least he gets some free bagels and a lifetime of ridicule. Poor bastard. You ever wonder what would happen if you put 70 magnetic balls into your penis and you're an 11-year-old boy? Because that happened. This is from newzealandherald.co.nz. Boy 11 has surgery to remove 70 magnetic balls from penis. 70. 70. Doctors in southeastern China have performed surgery to remove 70 magnetic balls from an 11-year-old boy after he inserted them into his penis out of curiosity. The unnamed boy was taken to Zhejiang. I don't know if I'm saying that one right, but that sounds right. I think I got that one on the first try. Zhejiang. The unnamed boy was taken to Zhejiang University School of Medicine affiliated Children's Hospital on Sunday night after he complained of pains in his belly, the Hangzhou-based City Express reported. After X-ray images showed a shadow in his bladder, the boy admitted what he had done. The 70 balls, each with a diameter of 5 millimeters, were retrieved from his bladder in a minimally invasive operation lasting 2 hours. Might be minimally invasive, but that's 2 hours of invasion. The balls stick to each other and it's difficult to remove them as a whole lump, so at the beginning, we could only pick up 2 or 3 at a time, Tao Chang, a surgeon at the hospital, was quoted as saying. After we had taken out around 50 balls, the remaining ones formed a line and we took those out in one go. Bravo, gentlemen. Incidents such as these have prompted doctors to warn parents against buying the magnetic balls as a toy for their children. Dow said that doctors at the hospital encountered 2 or 3 similar cases per year, with the boys tending to be between the ages of 10 and 15, and inserted items including electric wires, needles, and in one case, an 8-centimeter ear scoop. Whoa. Why? Can anybody answer that? He said that a boy's penis could allow an object with a diameter up to 7 to 8 millimeters to pass through it. Interesting. How about this one? This article just devolved into tidbits. Doctors in Zhoumadian in central China's Henan province removed a 40-centimeter headphone wire from an 18-year-old boy. The patient was quoted as saying he had inserted it into his penis a year earlier, and although it was painful, he was too embarrassed to tell his family. A 13-year-old in Harbin had to have surgery last year to remove 10-centimeter electric wire from his penis. Doctors found the wire knotted in his bladder. Oh. Okay, we're done with this story. I don't know if there's any more now. I'm done. I'm out. Not such a good boy. Florida man believed he was half man, half dog. This comes to us from WHNT 19 News. A forensic psychologist says a former college student believed he was half dog, half man when he fatally attacked a man and woman at their home and was found biting one of their faces. A Palm Beach Post reports Dr. Philip Resnick made the conclusion in a 38-page mental health report released this week by the Martin County State Attorney's Office. Investigators say they found Austin Harroff, now 22, biting John Stevens' face while making growling noises. Resnick's report says the fact that Harroff persisted in biting Stevens in the presence of police officers, in spite of threats of being shot, being tased, and receiving multiple kicks to the head, suggests that Mr. Harroff was actively psychotic. Harroff's attorneys are preparing an insanity defense for the November 4th trial. We have an update for the show. From a previous episode, we covered a story concerning an Australian man who is suing his former boss for bullying by breaking wind, by farting on him, or in his small office without any windows. So he sued his former boss, and the case got thrown out because this gentleman would, I guess I would call it playing along. He would call his boss Mr. Stinky or spray deodorant at him. So his court case was thrown out. So he went to an appeals court, and unfortunately, headline reads, Australian man loses bullying by breaking wind court case, from the AP, from the Associated Press. And this is very short. I'll keep this one short. You can go back to the previous episode, check out the story itself if you like. Or at least check out those show notes and follow the link. An Australian appeals court on Friday dismissed a bullying case brought by an engineer who accused his former supervisor of repeatedly breaking wind toward him. The Victoria State Court of Appeal upheld the Supreme Court judge's ruling that even if engineer David Hink's allegations were true, flatulence did not necessarily constitute bullying. Hink said he would take... Oh, come on, dude. Hink said he would take his case to the High Court, Australia's final court of appeal. Dude, just let it go. This is your life now, man. The 56-year-old is seeking 1.8 million Australian dollars. That's 1.3 million American, if you're curious. Damages from his former Melbourne employer, Construction Engineering. So that's that. That's that update. He's taken it to the highest court he can. Australia's final court of appeal, the High Court, because he was farted on, or near, or at. I don't know. And we have yet another update. First was the Australian bully farter. And now this one is actually good news. This is Maryland man who tackled pelican jailed in Key West. Sheriff's office says they got their man on a. I'll just read the article because it's all there. This is from the Associated Press. A Maryland man accused of abusing a pelican has returned to the Florida Keys to face charges. 31-year-old William Hunter Hardesty of Riva, Maryland. Riva. Let's go with Riva. Riva, Maryland, was booked into jail in Key West late Monday, according to a statement from Monroe County Sheriff spokesman Adam Linhart. Hardesty was arrested in March in Ocean City, Maryland, after a video posted on his Facebook a week earlier went viral, showing him leaping onto a federally protected pelican as it floated next to the Key West historic seaport. That pelican was bothering nobody. He can be seen resurfacing, holding the bird, which snaps at his face. Good for the bird. He then loosens his grip and the bird flies away. Good for the bird. Hardesty is accused of violating the Migratory Bird Treaty Act. Now, if you don't know the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, I'd say that was back in '08. That'd be 1908. Not 2008, mind you. And the Treaty Act stopped that terrible war between us and the birds. I'll get into it some other time on the podcast, but let's just finish here. He was jailed on $80,000 bond. A lawyer wasn't listed in jail records. And that's that. That's a good update. It's a feel-good update. He attacked a pelican for no reason whatsoever, it seems. And the Sheriff's Department caught their man. Need more stories like that. Funnier ones, though. The following story comes to us from WENY News, WENY.com. Headline reads, Stolen Little Debbie's truck recovered near Baker's Lane in Elmira. It's funny because they're little cakes. And they found it at Baker's Lane. Right? You get it? You get it. An Elmira man is behind bars after police say he stole a little Shit, I just knocked the mic out, didn't I? Did you hear a click? I'm just going to leave it in. Let's hope I don't mess this up. An Elmira man is behind bars after police say he stole a Little Debbie delivery truck from the Weiss Market on North Main Street. Police say Monday just afternoon, officers responded to the Weiss or Weiss? It's W-E-I-S. I know it's probably German or something, Austrian. You gotta pronounce those words a certain way. So I think it's Weiss. So that should have two S's. I guess it doesn't matter. I didn't name the market. I'm never going to go to the market. I'm sure plenty of people do go to the market. But the officers responded to the Weiss Market, I'm going to say it that way, for the report of a vehicle theft. The Little Debbie snack cakes delivery truck had been last seen traveling south on Main Street. Several minutes later, the truck was stopped and the driver was arrested. Very anticlimactic. Police identify the driver as 38-year-old Joseph Toko. Police say Toko admitted to taking the vehicle and using it to visit family and friends. The keys for the truck had been left inside the unlocked cab. Police say it did not appear that any of the inventory was missing. Give that guy a round of applause for not even taking one little cake. He was charged, though, with criminal possession of stolen property in the third degree. And he's being held in lockup, because that's what happens. I do applaud the guy for not eating a single cake in that truck. I mean, if you've already done something bad, you can make it just a little bit worse by taking one cake. Nobody's going to bat the eyelash at one cake. Like, yeah, he took the truck, but he only ate one cake. Just one. Let's just move on. This one comes to us from globalnews.ca. Man chokes cashier for putting chips and canned goods in same grocery bag. A Pennsylvania man lost his cool over how a store clerk was bagging his groceries, choking the cashier for putting potato chips and canned goods in the same bag, police said. According to Fairview Township Police, Bradley Bauer was shopping with his wife at a Giant Food store. It's called Giant Food Store on February 2nd when the writer didn't know. I don't know what kind of store it was. It's probably big though. It's called a Giant Food Store. When he allegedly attacked the cashier for the way the clerk was handling his groceries. Police noted in a criminal complaint that Bauer explained to officers he had asked the clerk not to throw his groceries around. The man said he had several bags of chips and didn't want them to get all smashed up. Bauer told police the cashier then proceeded to place the chips in the same bag as the canned goods and that the man had purchased, and the clerk was smashing the chips. He was smashing the chips. The man said he asked the cashier to stop bagging his items in that manner. The victim told police Bauer had paid for his groceries, and while he was walking away, he turned and asked him, "Do you have a problem with me? Because I have a problem with you." The victim told officers he thought Bauer was kidding and replied to the man, "Do you?" That's when police said Bauer attacked the cashier, grabbing him around the neck and shoving the clerk against the cash register while calling the victim an idiot. Jeez Louise. I can't imagine this. Be grocery shopping and this is going on up at the front of the store. I don't think so. According to the police report, Bauer told officers he knew he was in the wrong, was having a bad day, and this issue with the chips just sent him over the edge. The man was charged with simple assault. Next time he might consider Pringles. Because they're in a tube. From thedailymail.co.uk, woman's foul-smelling ovarian cyst contained traces of a vegetable and hair after her bowel perforated. That's a headline I hope to never have to read again. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this article. You can check the show notes and check the link for yourself because there's a picture, an x-ray picture of what's doing inside this woman. A mother who went to hospital with pain in it. I read it like somebody from the UK. A mother went to hospital. They don't go to the hospital. They go to hospital. I'm going to read it to where I feel comfortable. A mother who went to the hospital with pain in her lower... that feels good. A mother who went to the hospital with pain in her lower abdomen was found to have an ovarian cyst with traces of vegetables in it. Doctors described the growth as very foul-smelling. That's... well... I was going to say that's, sarcastically, that's professional, but they're being honest and truthful, and they see this kind of thing all the time, I guess, and said it also had hair inside of it. The unnamed 32-year-old went to a hospital in Rochester, Michigan, because she'd had pain in the torso for about a week, with it getting worse in the past few days. Originally given antibiotics used to treat gonorrhea and tested for an STD, scans revealed one of her ovaries was infected. And there they have the picture. That's the gist of it. I'm not going to read the rest of this. I can't. It's the same thing over and over again. Content of the left ovary was consistent with dermoid, very foul smelling, suspected of superinfection. Grossly, the specimen contained sebaceous material and hair. In one area, a fragment of vegetable fiber was also seen. Well, that's all I'm going to do. I'm out. This is another one. That's 2 stories this episode. I'm not cut out for this. But I'm out. A pet pig got loose in Arcata, California. Hours later, someone slaughtered her. A few weeks ago, we had a story about a goat escaping a slaughterhouse in New Jersey. It took off, made its way to New York City, then Brooklyn where it was caught, and that goat got to go live on a farm. This pig got out, and let's read the news article. A local family is devastated after their pet pig Princess got loose and was killed for meat by an opportunistic community member. Now that person could be facing charges. She's very sweet, Princess's owner, Carrie Hogan, told the This comes from the Lost Coast Outpost. She's very sweet, Princess's owner, Carrie Hogan, told the Lost Coast Outpost, still referring to the animal in the present tense. She's not aggressive. She likes to be around people. Last Saturday morning, Princess, a near 400-pound Hampshire, because it's ham, it's pig, Hampshire cross pig, escaped from their pen at a residence on Park Street on Fickle Hill in Arcata and took a high-profile jaunt around the neighborhood, occasionally stopping to graze in open front yards. The swine's unauthorized outing drew the attention of concerned neighbors, and by 9 a.m. her exploits were featured on Humboldt Paws Cause's Facebook page. Humboldt Paws Cause. An officer from the Arcata Police Department was eventually summoned to try and figure out what to do with the pig. The animal carried no identifying tags or markings. No one in the area knew for sure where the pig had come from, so the officer struck some sort of deal with a man who'd been monitoring the scene, who agreed to watch the animal for a period until a responsible party could be located. It is unclear what the exact terms of the exchange between the officer and the man were, but within a few hours, Princess had been taken onto a nearby property where she was slaughtered and cut up for meat. That hurts. I mean, obviously for the pig that hurts, but for the family of the pig, ooh. Having made contact with the member of Princess's family, the APD officer eventually returned to the area he'd left the pig early Saturday afternoon and discovered what had happened. Arcata Police Chief Brian Ahern expressed dismay at the situation. "We were totally shocked and surprised to learn that the pig had been slaughtered," Ahern said, adding that his officer had thought he'd reached a reasonable arrangement with the man. "We were totally shocked and surprised to learn that the pig had been slaughtered," Ahern said, adding that his officer had thought he'd reached a reasonable arrangement with the man. There was no reason to believe that the individual was going to do that. Hogan was horrified to learn of Princess's fate. She and her family had raised the animal, who turned a year old this January. This is a big pig. You can see it on the website in the show notes. And it's only a year old. It was a year old. It was huge. Where was I? Piglet turned a year old in January. Since it was a piglet, at times bottle feeding the animal in her living room. Princess had been living in a pen at Hogan's mom's house at the time of her escape last weekend. During her walkabout, she made her way down a deer trail and onto Shirley Avenue, where she was spotted. It was on a property on this street where she ultimately was killed. Hogan said she is upset with the way the officer handled the situation. Hogan's mom was the first member of the family to get the horrible news. She made her way up the driveway of the property where she had been told the pig had been killed and confronted the man who was still cutting up her family's pet. The man was dismissive and told her to leave. He told her, "You have no right to be on this property," Hogan said, relaying her mom's words. As far as Hogan knows, Princess's killer still has the pig's meat. She'd like to retrieve it, not because she plans to eat it, but because she doesn't want anyone to benefit from it. It says her family is committed to seeking justice for their beloved pet. And Arcata Police is evaluating if there was a crime committed here or not, which I think there might have been. They're taken to the Humboldt County District Attorney's Office. I hope they find justice for Princess. That's all I want. From WKYT Kentucky, WKYT.com, Eastern Kentucky man sues Hampton Inn, accuses boss of trying to force exorcism on him. An Eastern Kentucky man has filed a suit against a Hampton Inn and his boss after he says he was punished for not undergoing an exorcism. Field states in the lawsuit he started working at Hampton Inn as a front desk employee beginning in 2016. Sharon Linden, his manager, learned Field was going through a divorce and believed his marital problems were because he had demons. I think that demon being his ex-wife, if you know what I'm saying. Sorry. Linden is accused of telling Fields he had to get cleansed in order to keep working at the hotel. Linden gave Fields a questionnaire with many questions about religion and intimate activities. Fields said in the lawsuit he was asked to return it to Linden before undergoing an exorcism. Fields accuses Linden of punishing him for not participating in the questionnaire and exorcism by changing his shift and bringing in people from her ministry to pray for him while he was working. This sounds like a nightmare. This would happen in front of the guest. This would lead Fields to quit his job. The lawsuit accuses Linden of religious discrimination against Fields because he didn't share her beliefs. Fields is seeking punitive and compensatory damages in the lawsuit. Hampton Inn released a statement on the lawsuit. We were notified Wednesday, March 27th, that a lawsuit has been filed. We intend to do a thorough investigation of the accusations made within the lawsuit. As a company, we oppose all types of discrimination and await our opportunity to discuss our side. At the time, we have no further comments. I think their side is they hired somebody who's a little nutty and wanted to perform exorcisms on employees. I think that's their side. The other defendants have not responded to our request for comment. So there it is. Maybe he has demons. Maybe I'm wrong. And this lady isn't nutty. Let's be fair. It's always good. He didn't have demons. He didn't need an exorcism. I'm not going to be fair. This one comes from KFOR.com, Oklahoma's News Channel 4. This is one that you're going to want to check the show notes and find the link and take a look because there's pictures. Tulsa police. Woman arrested for DUI after driving on rim. Margarita found in cup holder. So the pictures are, there's one mugshot, of course, and there's a picture of the rim of the car. I don't know how she was driving on this thing. Tulsa police arrested a woman after she was allegedly driving drunk on the rim of her vehicle. According to Tulsa police, officers were conducting a traffic stop when they spotted a driver driving on a rim. Police say they quickly ended the original traffic stop and pulled over the driver, which they say they could hear her coming from a block away. Like I said, I don't know how she was driving on this thing, but I didn't even consider the sound this might make. Just a gnarly kind of grinding metal on asphalt sound. And I mean, the fender of the car was all messed. Just go look at the picture. Officers asked the woman, later identified as Amy Dillon, how much she had to drink, in which she replied that she had 2 tequila shots. Police say she could barely stand and did not do well on a field sobriety test. She's smiling in her mugshot. She looks like a sober kid, really. Police say they also found a full margarita inside her cup holder. See, that makes it sound like they found a full margarita inside her cup holder, like it was just poured into the cup holder, and not actually in a cup in the cup holder. I'm sure it was in a cup. Officials say it is unknown how she wrecked her car on something or what it was. Authorities took Dillon to jail where she took a breathalyzer test and blew a .21 and climbing, according to police. Can it be climbing? She's not been drinking for a while? Are they just saying that? I don't know. She was arrested on complaints of no driver's license, in possession while driving, transporting an open container, operating a motor vehicle with defective tires, how about no tire, and DUI second offense. And that's that. Go check out the pictures. They're incredible. Put away the kids, hide your grandma. This next story is for mature audiences only, and kinky ones too, and Star Wars fans. It comes from the Vancouver Sun. Star Wars sex party featuring Jar Jar Kinks, Grabba the Butt. That good? Grabba the Butt? That's a good one. An intergalactic swingers party with a Star Wars theme is expected to be out of this world. Swingers are being encouraged to release their dark side at a May the Force party on May 4th in Newcastle, England. And no, it's not a trap, with plenty of prizes for the best costumes. I don't like that line. And no, it's not a trap with plenty of prizes for the best costumes. That's what the line is. I don't like it. The orgy organizer said, "We offer a no-pressure environment for you to explore your sexual fantasies and broaden your horizons in the knowledge that you will be safe and respected by all." You know, I mean, I guess imagine being at one of those parties and there's no pressure and you get a tap on the shoulder and it's Greedo. No thanks. The UK Sun even helpfully suggested some character names. In addition to the aforementioned Jar Jar Kinks, here are a few more. I don't even want to read these. Hand Solo, Grabba the Butt, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader. Oh, it got me giggling. Baba Fetish, and Porn Troopers. I think this might be the lowest point of the show so far. I mean, we just started, but this article is... it's where it's at. Well, thank you for joining us for another episode of Other Items of Interest. I was your host, Jack Zablocki. I had a blast. I hope you had a good time too. Join us again next week for more news of the weird, offbeat shenanigans. Just nuttery. See you later, folks.